Yo, what is up YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2019 Baek Battles. Today, we're using the Zygarde Kyogre team once again with Zygarde, Kyogre, Toxicroak, Serena, Stakataka, and Xerneas. If you haven't checked out the previous episodes, highly recommend go checking them out. But let's get started and play some games. Again, we are using the like goal for this team, 175 likes for this video and all the other videos. We use the Zygarde Kyogre team. Within 2 weeks of the final episode being uploaded, we will have a QR code on the global link for everyone to try out. But otherwise, still a pretty fun team. And if you want to try out the original version, which this team was based off of, you can go check it out, which is in the description down below. Otherwise, there is a paste spin of my version down below in the description as well. But I think Thousand Waves is like a really cool move. It's kind of like, there were a few things I really want to test with Thousand Waves back early when VGC 19 was first announced. One was a Perish song, Perish Trap with Thousand Waves. Didn't end up going that well because, you know, like the Primals, Kyogre, like there's a lot of heavy hitters, so it's really hard to get into a position where it's not like Gengar. You have to use two mons, one with Perish song, and then you have to use the Zygarde for Thousand Wave Trap. You could use Gothitelle, but Gothitelle really doesn't take hits that well, as we got our first opponent from, I believe, Japan. It was Kyogre Palkia. Sorry, my throat's a little bit sore right now, so I don't know if there's gonna be a much difference, but if you can hear it, yeah, it's my throat. Palkia, Kyogre with Stakataka, Amoonguss, Kartana, and Incineroar. Now, my Toxicroak is really good in this matchup because it hits basically 5 out of 6 mon for heavy damage, while unless my opponent has like Earth Power on the Palkia or Psycho Cut on the Kartana, which should be good. I could probably just go my Toxicroak here with, I don't want to lead Kyogre because Kyogre's not that bad of a lead. I kind of want to lead Torn because of the Z Hurricane option. I kind of like the Z Hurricane option too because it helps against the Amoonguss and Kartana, which are probably the two Pokemon that really I don't like facing with my Toxicroak. So yeah, I'm going to go Toxicroak plus a Xerneas. Let's have Kyogre in the back, and I don't know if I bring Zygarde or not. I kind of like Serena a bit more. We'll try out Serena. I think Serena just has great presence here with the Power Whip and being able to take attacks. But I would really like the, I would have really liked the, not Stakataka was the other Pokemon that I have on this team. I would have liked, why can't I remember? My Zygarde. My Zygarde would have done well because it could sub against Amoonguss and just, you know, throw off some 1,000 arrows and 1,000 waves. But against the Kyogre and Palkia, it takes too much damage, I feel like, especially since I'm not a seed variant. So yeah, we're going to see the Palkia plus Amoonguss lead, which is not surprising at all here. This is actually pretty good for me because I could probably just fake out the Palkia and go straight for the Z Hurricane and Amoonguss, and I'll definitely do that because it'd probably force the Amoonguss to A switch out, and if it does switch out, my opponent doesn't really have a good flying resist other than Stakataka, but I'm actually would be surprised if my opponent brought Stakataka in this matchup considering my restricteds. So, or somebody's taking a lot of damage in general. So let's go for fake out. Let's go for a Z Hurricane. My opponent doesn't have a way to stop both of these combinations, so yeah, I don't see a reason not to just click Z Hurricane here and fake out into Palkia. Not really too worried about Palkia, but it can do some decent amount of damage. I also wonder if this Palkia is a Trick Room variant or if it's like one of those max speed timid ones, since I couldn't confirm the ability right off the bat for speed tiers. But we're actually going to see the Amoonguss reveal Protect here. Okay, so Amoonguss does reveal Protect. That's actually kind of annoying because that's kind of rare. Usually you see Amoonguss with Grass Knot, Clear Smog, Spore, and Rage Powder. So Protect is a very good move by my opponent here, as you'll be able to avoid my Z move. And maybe I should have went for the Taunt turn one and then thrown out the Z move, but I didn't want Kyogre to come in and then I'm kind of have to force the Xerneas to retreat here. So we'll go for the Z move here into the Amoonguss. How much is this going to do? It should do a decent amount still to Protect, as it does, but not enough to where I'm really satisfied. Now the question is, does the Amoonguss switch out here? Because I would switch out the Amoonguss here to take the Hurricane and go for a Hydro Pump into Torn. I could definitely see the Kyogre coming in. So I'm thinking of going straight for the low kick actually into the Palkia slot and going hard into, it wouldn't be a bad play. I could go Kyogre too. But I'd rather go Serena here, I think. Because I think Serena's pretty good here. The pressure it can do against the Palkia is pretty nice, since Palkia can't really touch the Serena for much damage. So we're going to see that actually just a Rage Powder. So that's unfortunate. I could have went for Hurricane and just went for a low kick. I would have been fine trading Tornadus for this Mungus, but we're going to see the straight Z move. The Hydro Vortex coming straight into, ooh, Serena Slot, okay. So I guess just didn't want to risk Hydro Pump here, and I guess you get to protect the Palkia from doing that much damage, but this works out for me fine, because now I can throw off a Power Whip into the Serena Slot. I really do wish I went for Poison Jab. Maybe I should just went for Poison Jab just to cover for the Rage Powder option, as yeah, we take that Hydro Vortex pretty comfortably, and we'll be able to get a low kick off into the Amoonguss, which isn't going to do that much. But now we threaten a Power Whip into the Palkia slot, which wouldn't be bad damage at all. And again, I don't think my opponent has much that can touch Toxicroak here. If I Poison Jab the Amoonguss and I Power Whip the Palkia and I get both, basically what happens is I put both, I think, in range of Water Spout for my Kyogre, so I think that's worth going for instead of U-turning. Because I was thinking of doubling up the Amoonguss, but even if Palkia protects, that's fine. Even if it goes for an attack, I think I'm still in a pretty good position regardless. We're going to see the Amoonguss actually retreat here into the Kartana. Okay, interesting switch, but good switch for my opponent. As we're going to see a Spatial Run come out and target down the Toxicroak. Ooh, that's not good for me. I mean, it's not bad. It's not great for me, though. We will get a Power Whip. We do connect, thankfully, with the Palkia, and that does so much damage. It actually picks up the knockout with a critical hit. Probably mattered, I would assume. Even if I max attack, I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't have killed. I'm pretty sure it would have been in the red, but yeah, that's a pretty big knockout for me. Yikes. As we are able to pick up the knockout, this Kyogre is going to be the one coming out here. And I guess it's a question of what are you going to do here. Don't know if Smart Strike knocks out my Toxicroak, but I assume it does. You're not Leaf Blade my Toxicroak, that's for sure. The question is, do you double up the Serena slot? Would I mind if my opponent doubled the Serena slot? Well, it depends. If you Scarf Kyogre 1, that's a question. I think I'm just going to go my own Kyogre here. Realistically, I could also just low kick the Kartana and go for the Power Whip in the Kyogre, which is what I'm really thinking here, actually. And you know what? I like that play better because, like, you have to double up a target in order to pick up a knockout unless you are Smart Strike and Ice Beam. You have to be very specifically those sets. And if you are Smart Strike, you have to have quite a bit of attack investment in the Kartana. As, okay, you're not. You go for the Leaf Blade instead of Serena, actually. Huh. And an Ice Beam. Okay, so you're doubling up the Serena. Maybe in case it's Assault Vest and you want to also cover for maybe a Kyogre switch, which does make sense there. So we do see the Serena go down as we will get a low sweep in the Kartana, and that will slow it down quite a bit. So nice. And we get to heal off some damage. Also, we confirmed the fact that it's not Scarf on the Kyogre, so I can actually just go my own Kyogre here. Or I could go Tornadus to throw off a Hurricane into the Kartana slot. Yeah, I'm gonna go Kyogre here and just fire off a Water Spout and low kick into the opposing Kyogre. I don't see a reason not to make this play. Because even if Kartana protects, that's fine. I think just Water Spout into low kick just gets me so much pressure. Even if the Amoonguss comes out, it's taking a lot of damage. It knocks out the Kartana. I get a bunch of chip in the Kyogre to where we might even be able to pick up a knockout depending on how bulky this Kyogre is. And I think that's definitely worth, because I think Tornadus is worth keeping in the back just for the Hurricane pressure that I can throw off at my opponent. Because in the late game, I'm thinking a Hurricane can sweep next to Toxicroak. So definitely think it's worth just going for the Water Spout and a low kick, as we're going to see the Kyogre actually retreating the Amoonguss. Not the play I was expecting here. Amoonguss is going to be taking quite a bit, as the Kartana is going to protect too, as I'm going to just get to click Water Spout and a low kick here. So next turn I'm going to be able to follow up with a Water Spout plus Poison Jab, which is also interesting here. So yeah, really surprised that the Amoonguss decided to come out here, but yeah, as we get a crit with low kick, which unless we put in range of Water Spout, I don't feel like it is. I feel like it'll live on the sliver anyway, so not really a big deal. We'll go for the I guess we'll just go for a low kick in the Amoonguss and just a Water Spout again. I'm actually really surprised. Is this going to be a protect from the Amoonguss and switch Kartana onto Kyogre, because you're just taking a bunch of damage no matter what. Okay, we're going to see my opponent try to get the free switch into Kyogre, so I wonder if it specs Kyogre. I wonder if it is specs Kyogre, because that might explain why my opponent decided to make that play, as we do knock out the Kartana there, which is great, because that's the biggest threat to Toxicroak. Now I don't think my opponent has a good answer to Toxicroak, unless maybe specs Thunder on the Kyogre, but even then I'm not really too worried here. As, yeah, my Toxicroak is basically near full. I'm able to go for the Poison Jab the following turn, plus a Water Spout, and I really just don't see a way my opponent stops me. I guess your win con here is Kyogre is faster than Toxicroak. You go for the Thunder Para into the Toxicroak here, and hope you get the full Para, and Amoonguss gets a Spore into Kyogre. That's your out, I guess, but even then, as long as Toxicroak gets some moves off, we should be able to win. And yeah, the match is going to be forfeit as my opponent realizes I don't have a way to touch Toxicroak. So, wasn't Assault Vest Kartana, so it was one of those Focus Sash variants. I really do wonder if Ice Beam would have been able to knock out Serena originally, and a Smart Shock would have been able to knock out Toxicroak, because if it's a Sash variant on the Kartana, you want to assume that it most likely does have max attack. So that might have been the reason why I was considering switching out Toxicroak there into the Kyogre, which wouldn't have been a bad play realistically, because I would have, based on how that turn went, because if it went for, since the double up happened to Serena, I could have just got Toxicroak in next to a Kyogre, fired off Water Spout plus Fake Out, but then again, I wouldn't have got the important damage in the Kartana, which would have been Break Its Sash. Of course, I could have just went for Power Feint, but I want to punish that, not respecting the Serena. As we're going to face a Xerneas team next with Groudon, Xerneas, Incineroar, Tapu Koko, Venusaur, and Amoonguss. Okay. Isn't this a game where I just lead Tornadus plus the Kyogre here and see it do work? Because I don't see a reason why I wouldn't go with that combination. Because I had the Rain Dance option, so I'd be surprised. Do I pick Serena here is the question? I don't think I do. I mean, it could be really good. I kind of actually want I actually want no Zygarde here, unfortunately. Zygarde wouldn't be bad though. Actually, I'd probably bring Zygarde. I probably wouldn't bring Serena. I think I'm gonna go Kyogre Tornadus because it scares off my opponent with the potential Rain Dance, and we go Stack Attack up plus Zygarde here in the back. I think Zygarde could be good for switching to Tapu Koko. Like, the only lead I'm really worried about is a Tapu Koko plus a Amoonguss lead, which is why I'm gonna go with this play here. And there are two leads that are probably scary, which would be I assume it's gonna be the it'd be the Groudon Venusaur lead or the Tapu Koko Incineroar lead. As we're gonna see Tapu Koko Xerneas, so that's fine too. Unless this, most of these Tapu Kokos run Electrum Z anyway, so I could probably just Rain Dance and Water Spout immediately turn one, and I don't really see a reason not to make that play. And if I could catch the Groudon on the switch potentially, that just opens up the door for my Stack Attacker so much. So I will definitely go for the Water Spout here. And I could also technically just go for a I could also go for the Z move into Xerneas, because the Z move into Hurricane would knock out the Xerneas, I think, even in the sun. But the problem is if Groudon switches in for the Xerneas slot, which I guess wouldn't be too bad either, because again, I think my Stack Attacker could win. So I think it's just really what do I want to do here. I do like the Rain Dance plus the Z move option, but I think Water Spout and the Z Hurricane's actually fine here, because of the fact that, again, like what I'm trying to say is if I can knock out the Xerneas, that's great too. As we're gonna see the Xerneas retreat into the Groudon. Yeah, not exactly the best for me, but at least I'm gonna be able to get rid of the Groudon. I assume Water Spout's gonna be enough. Rain Dance turn 1 would have probably just won me the game, but I wasn't exactly sure which slot would switch out here. So we will go for the Water Spout here. It will be able to do a decent amount to both Pokemon, actually. That's not a bulky Groudon. Oh, that's a crit. Never mind. Oh, but that activates the berry, so I might not knock out the Groudon now. That actually hurts. That actually kind of hurts. So we're going to see the Electrum Z be straight fired off. Okay. Guessing this is Kyogre, I would imagine. If it's another Torn, this puts me in an interesting spot. But I still think I can win with Stack Attacker pretty easily, even if this Electrum Z is going to fire off. Yeah, it's in the Kyogre. So Ah, that's unfortunate. I would have just been able to go for a, I would have just been able to go for the, Rain Dance Water Spout immediately. Let's see if we are able to knock out the Groudon, because if not, this becomes a little bit tougher. As we'll go for the Z move here, we'll go out into the Groudon. I guess it's not the worst, because I guess even if Groudon lives, at worst case we could go for Sub and Tailwind here. But yeah, that's not exactly the best spot for me. Yeah, I barely missed a knockout. That's unfortunate. We'll go into Zygarde here. And we definitely sub. As we need... Yeah, we definitely need to sub here. Rain Dance would have been a great play. Or not critting the Groudon, which actually really hurts me. But we'll go for Tailwind here. The reason we're going to Tailwind so Zygarde can still outspeed these Pokemon. And then even if Stack Attack is not outspeeding, we still have a threatening Gyro Ball onto my opponent. And yeah, I think we'll still be fine. Looks like my opponent's probably just going to Volt Switch the Tornadus and go for a Precipice Blades, which is also okay for me. Because I don't think this is the worst spot possible for me. As Torn does go down to the Volt Switch. I just got to get rid of that Groudon. Let's see what's going to come out here. Probably the Xerneas, I'd assume. Just that if I'm still mad I crit the Groudon. The one time you don't want to crit. Okay, Xerneas comes out. Let's see who's faster, Groudon or the Zygarde. Zygarde's faster. Okay. As Precipice Blades is going to come out. Ooh, that's big. Okay. Thankfully, we get a bit of luck on our side. So now the Zygarde's behind the sub. And that's kind of what I wanted because I didn't want the Xerneas. I didn't really want the Xerneas getting a Moonblast opportunity. So we get to bring in Stack Attacker now. And we get to click 1,000 Waves here. And we are going to 2-hit KO everything that's aka the Incineroar here. Since I did EV it for that situation. And we'll go for 1,000 Waves and Gyro Ball. So nice. I think Incineroar has to come out here. Like, I just don't see a reason for Incineroar not to come out here. Still a tough game, but at least Zygarde should be able to threaten a lot here with the 1,000 Waves because there's not really a switch in for my opponent's side. There's nothing that really switches in well. Xerneas is gonna protect. I guess my opponent wants a free switch in Incineroar, which makes sense. But again, I don't think I mind that too much as we will go for the 1,000 Waves. We will be able to knock out the Groudon. And Tapu Koko can't really come out. It'll be knocked out to 1,000 Waves. If Incineroar comes in, I just go for 1,000 Waves and attempt to go for a, I think Trick Room? Or I could just go straight for the Gyro Ball. And I'd rather go straight for the Gyro Ball into the Xerneas. So we are healing with our leftovers, which is nice. But again, we gotta knock out the Xerneas. If we knock out Xerneas, our Zygarde just wins. Incineroar is the last Pokemon, which I assumed to be on my opponent's team. So we'll go for 8,000 Waves here because we'll trap in the Incineroar and we'll go for the Gyro Ball immediately. Doesn't matter if we nah, we just Gyro Ball anyway. We just Gyro Ball the Xerneas regardless. Because we're going to see Fake Out, we're going to see Geomancy. Yep. So we get 8,000 Waves off into the Incineroar and the Xerneas. We trap in the Incineroar so it can't really freely switch. And the Xerneas can't switch either. Oh, that Incineroar has a bit more bulk. Ooh, not good. Geomancy? Yeah. Okay, Xerneas set up the Geomancy, and now it gets a bit more complicated. I was actually really hoping the Incineroar wouldn't survive. Ooh. Alright, I think this comes down to... I think we're still fine regardless. I think I just... Okay, there are only two plays that I'm really scared of here. Can't escape. Last turn of Sun. I don't want Flare Blitz and a Moonblast happening, so I'm just going to double protect here. The two plays that do cover this option are Substitute on the Xerneas or Self U-Turn from the Incineroar into the Xerneas. So let's see if my opponent does make that play, as we'll protect here with both our Pokemon and see what my opponent decides to go for. Is Thousand Waves weaker than Thousand Arrows, or is it just okay, Moonblast and Stack Attacker should be a Flare Blitz. Yeah. Sun Fades. Tailwind peters out, electricity disappears. I guess it's also still pretty complicated because it depends on if the Xerneas Protects and Flare Blitz comes out from the Incineroar. Actually, no, that wouldn't really change much. Let me just see. 1000 Waves is 90? No, it is 90. Okay, so the Incineroar just has physical defense bulk. Quite a bit of it. Go for 1000 Waves, and we always Gyro Ball the Xerneas. We don't trick him here, actually. We always Gyro Ball the Xerneas. Even if Incineroar goes for the U-turn. Yeah, because you're going to attack here. You're going to try to aggressively knock out the Stack Attacker. You need a crit in order to knock out the Stack Attacker, which is why I'm fine here. If we get rid of Xerneas, we just win the game. So 1000 Waves will come out into my opponent. And luckily this isn't a Blaze Incineroar, but it'll probably activate Barrier regardless. Unless this is Assault Vest, which just explains the physical defense boost. Well, physical defense investment on Incineroar, but no, it's just a berry. It has quite a little bit of physical defense, it looks like. So we'll activate the berry. We'll see a Flare Blitz come out, and it comes down to is there a crit? Yeah, no crit, no burn, thankfully, and we are able to get the Gyro Ball off and just knock out the Xerneas, and that'll be good game to my opponent because now Zygarde is able to win. So Zygarde able to actually clean up the end game with Stack Attacker, which was my backup plan. Again, I could have probably just won this game turn 1 by just clicking Rain Dance plus a Water Spout, but the reason I didn't go for that is because, let's say the Groudon did come in and I was able to just go for the Rain Dance and Water Spout, and the Xerneas lived on a few HP. Well, I guess then again, that would have been accomplishing my game plan no matter what, right? Because I'd been able to knock out the Groudon regardless, so maybe it was just worth going for it now that I think about it. Yeah, it might have been worth going for it. I was worried about Xerneas getting boosted, and then like I have a hard time switching in because I'd have to sack him on there to get Tailwind up. And I didn't exactly want to sack him on because Incineroar would have been able to get Fake Out pressure once my opponent got the free switch and maybe knock out the Tornadus immediately. So it would have been a bit frustrating if my opponent was able to get the few reads right, but luckily we were able to pull it through. So we'll go for 1000 Waves and Rock Slide, I guess. We should have this game sealed up. Yeah, as a match is going to be forfeited. My opponent realizes he can't touch the Zygarde, and I think we'll go for one more game. I think this game, again, get rid of the Groudon. My opponent doesn't have anything for the Stack Attacker, especially since my opponent went for the Z move turn 1. I was able to immediately get Stack Attacker into a good position. And yeah, Zygarde was able to put in work. The substitute actually really coming in clutch. It would have came in so much clutcher if the Incineroar was 2-shot by the 1000 Waves. Like if it was a 236 HP 4 defense Incineroar, which is the standard Incineroar. Because then what I was trying to go for was 2-KO the Incineroar there with 1000 Waves. And then first turn 1000 Waves, Gyro Ball as you fake out Geomancy. And then I would have Trick Room 1000 Waves, knocked out the Incineroar there. And then you can't win the game because I just clicked 1000 Waves into the top of Coco and Gyro Ball to Xerneas. That's what I was going for. But since the Incineroar survived, it made it a bit more complicated. We got 1800 rated player with Xerneas, Kartana, Incineroar, Amoonguss, Togedemaru, and Groudon. Okay. I think I bring the same 4 Mons, regardless. Togedemaru makes this a bit interesting. Actually, Togedemaru kind of makes this complicated, right? Because it's like, there are a few mind games you have to play against it. One, because if you lead Togedemaru plus Groudon, it's like, one, do you go for the fake out into Geomancy? Do you switch to Groudon for the Togedemaru slot? Do you switch Groudon for the Xerneas slot and try to attempt a Nuzzle? Like, there are a few mind games that I'm going to have to play against this, and that's kind of frustrating, actually. Or do you protect Nuzzle even? You can even go for that. So, yeah, this could be a bit complicated. We'll see how this goes. I think the play, if it is the Xerneas Togedemaru lead, is I always Water Spout Hurricane the Togedemaru. Because if it's a Sash Togedemaru, I always try to Water Spout it if Xerneas goes for the Protect and the Nuzzle, which would be a really bad situation for me. So let's see what my opponent decides to opt for. It's going to be the Kyogre Tornadus on my side of the field against the Oh, it's Incineroar Kartana, not even. Okay. That's not a bad lead combination for me. I could just go for a Hurricane into the Kartana, and we're probably just going to see Fake Out. Who's the Fake Out going out into? Okay, Kartana and Incineroar. You want to assume Groudon and Xerneas in the back, right? So, no Togedemaru. That's actually really good. I was actually really scared. If I get rid of Kartana, that's a good thing for my stack attacker. I'll just attempt to draw off a Hurricane and go on a Zygarde because Zygarde can do really well here. I could also Thousand Waves trap in something the following turn, which would be really nice here actually. So I'm going to go for the Thousand Waves the following turn. Or I could sub up too. Like, I have so many options here. I really like the option of Thousand Waves though, because Thousand Waves would trap in the Xerneas, and then I could potentially knock it out with the Z Hurricane, which would be really solid here actually. So we'll retreat our Kyogre. We never risk our Kyogre. Even if we double up the Torn here, that's fine. Well, again, our Zygarde. We're actually going to see the Kartana retreat into the Groudon, which is an interesting switch on my opponent's part. Okay. Then I could Thousand Waves and get a Kyogre potentially, and that would be really good here. Yeah. We missed a Groudon. I'm not really too concerned about that. Oh, it's a U-turn immediately. Nice play. I was actually thinking it could have been a Flare Blitz there, and a Flare Blitz would have been terrible for me. Okay. What are we going to see? Xerneas? Yeah. Not too bad. I could taunt the Xerneas and prevent a Geomancy. Leftovers being revealed here. You go for Precipice Blades. I'd imagine what you actually do is switch out an Incineroar and protect with your Xerneas. Because I don't think Groudon should want to stay in. I feel like you should always try to get Incineroar in for the fake up pressure. Because, like, what if I just taunt you, for instance? I'm gonna go hard with this read actually. Because I don't think you should click Precipice Blades. I feel like that's a bad play. I'm gonna taunt this Xerneas and go for the switch into Kyogre, which I think is a better play. Because I really expect Incineroar to come out here. One, you want to keep Groudon for the Weather War, and two, it doesn't really do much in this situation. So we'll see what happens here, but I'm hoping it is that switch out into Incineroar, but nope. We do get the taunt at least into the Xerneas though, so it won't be able to Geomancy. Maybe go straight for the Moonblast? Go straight for the Moonblast into probably the Zygarde, yeah. Did he predict my Kyogre switch? No, you just rocked him. Okay, that's not too bad. I could have just got a lot of damage off. That kind of sucks for me, but still not too bad. I could get a big Origin Pulse off here. That kind of sucks for me. I didn't expect my opponent to go straight for the Rock Tomb. I could go for Origin Pulse here and a Z move attempt to knock out the Xerneas. I mean, if I get rid of Xerneas, Zygarde might be able to win this game solo. And nothing want to really takes this Origin Pulse and the Z move. Yeah, I'm going to attempt it. Like, I'm kind of down right now. The Rock Tomb was a good play. We're going to see Groudon actually just go for Protect instead of a Switch, which makes sense. So, Origin Pulse, let's see. Does connect with the Xerneas. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. Does have. Here comes the Moonblast and the Kyogre. Yeah. Should pick up the knockout. Okay, Kyogre, you're resilient. I actually didn't expect it to live the Moonblast, but that works out huge for me. That's a huge survival, actually. That's really huge. Keeping Kyogre alive to threaten an Origin Pulse for it to live another day. Oh, that's big. Unfortunately, Stack Attacker just became a whole lot useless. Like, literally, Stack Attacker became a whole lot useless since I'm able to get rid of the Xerneas, but okay. That works out amazing for me. You have to go in Would you have to go in Incineroar? I think you have to go in Incineroar. I don't think you can afford to bring out Cart. You don't know if I have Serena in the back, though, but you have to risk me not bringing Serena here. So we are going to see the Incineroar come out here. I'm, of course, going to switch out to Kyogre. I think I'm actually going to double switch since I don't see a reason to stay in with both of these Pokemon. I think I'm just gonna switch out into the Zygarde, and again, I don't really mind Stack Attack going down. It's not really that worth it, and actually if Stack Attack goes down, it's a free switching back to my Kyogre. I get to click Origin Pulse once again, so that wouldn't be too bad here. I could sack Xerneas if I want to, but the problem is I really want Xerneas still alive because it's like the one Pokemon that helps me deal with this Kartana, which is a little bit frustrating for my team to handle, especially if it's an Assault Vest set. So we're gonna bring out our Stack Attacker here. And Rock Tomb gonna come out into the Stack Attacker, which is fine, and a U-turn, which is a good play from my opponent's side, but again, I don't really mind it too much. I really want a Thousand Waves trap my opponent. That's what I'm gonna do 100%. Because if I can Thousand Waves trap the Kartana, that's an amazing situation for me. The Sacred Sword knockout Stack Attack in one hit, I feel like it depends on if it's Assault Vest or not, and it has enough investment. We'll go for the Thousand Waves here. I could sub too, but I don't think sub is that great here, and I think I'm just going to immediately Gyro Ball the Kartana. Is Tailwind going to come out actually? Oh. Oh, that was not what I was anticipating. We do get 1,000 waves off, but this became... Oh, actually, it's not that bad. It's not that bad now that I think about it. You get a crit on Kartana, which is nice, but it was in range of Origin Pulse regardless. Precipice Blades is going to come out. No, this isn't bad at all. I thought this would have been terrible for me, but this works out. I get my complete form, I get to go Tornadus, I get to Tailwind, and then I get to switch back into Kyogre and click Origin Pulse. Yeah, because if you knock out my Torn, I get my Kyogre in for free, and I get to click Origin Pulse here, and even if that doesn't happen, I should still be pretty good here. So, we'll get our Zygarde to complete form. We'll get in Torn, we get to go for Tailwind. Yeah, like, I think we're still fine. Even without that crit. The crit only mattered if it was a potential Assault Vest Kartana. Because Origin Pulse would have knocked it out regardless at this form anyway. So we'll just protect here with our Zygarde. Because we don't want to take that much damage, and we'll go for the Tailwind here. We get an extra turn of Tailwind in my opponent too, which is nice. Yeah, we're still fine. I'm trying to think of, do I beat the Groudon actually in the back now that I think about it? Because Groudon's forced to protect, you have to bring out your Instant. I guess it's still a bit of a complicated game, but I still think I'm in a heavier winning position. Because we see a knockoff in the Torn, which is fine here. Do you Swords Dance is the question? If you have Swords Dance, it might be just... I think it's just Fire Move on Groudon. We'll find out. Oh, it's Groundium Z. Oh, that makes it so much easier, actually. Because it's not Berry. And good thing I protected too, because this could have been really bad here. Okay, nice. So we're going to see Tectonic Rage come out. It will target down my Zygarde. How much damage it's going to do through the Protect. We also have Sub and Leftovers, and I'm definitely going to get a Sub up here, which is nice. Yeah, it doesn't do too much. Actually, that wouldn't even knock out the Zygarde. That rain stops, which is fine. And we'll just go for the Origin Pulse and the Sub here. So we get to bring out Kyogre here. We get to go Origin Pulse. The problem is Groudon protects here always. And then Instant comes in. You could also do it the other way around. You could detect Cart if you want to. And sack Groudon. Which wouldn't be a bad play either. But I'm not sure my opponent's going to do that. So I'm going to sub here. And I'm going to go for the Origin Pulse. Like, I have to lock in. Do I? Yeah, because I can't get the 50-50 of who gets sacked here. So I'd rather just Origin Pulse. My opponent should always protect and sack one of your Pokemon to get an instant. So let's see which Pokemon my opponent... What? Why would you Oh my lord, no. That's never the play. The play is always to protect one, get an instant for free, fake out the Kyogre. Because that's literally your only shot to win this game. You should know I'm already Scarf Kyogre. Oh. Okay. I don't get what my opponent was expecting there. I had no reason to click Origin Pulse. Did my opponent forget I also had Tailwind up too? Because yeah, I also had Tailwind up, so yeah. I feel like that's the only reason. I think my opponent forgot I had Tailwind because I can't explain that play otherwise. 1,000 waves, Origin Pulse, this game's over. Zygarde literally wins this game. Yeah, the play is to protect one, right? Get an Incineroar, fake out, attack Zygarde with the other, and hope you can win the 1v1. It would have been difficult for my opponent to win the 1v1. Actually, it would have probably been an even matchup because I really can't tell who would win in a 1v1 between the Groudon and the Kartana. If it was the Groudon, I'm like, okay, if it's the Groudon, it's going to come down to how many Precipice Blades you can hit. I could also protect and stall out some, which is nice. If it's the Kartana, it's like, okay, 1,000 Waves is still doing decent damage, but I don't know how much Leaf Blade is doing to my Zygarde. Through after a bunch of recoveries, and also the Groudon had Sword Stance. You could have always went for Sword Stance there. So yeah, not exactly too sure. That's definitely a choke at the end of the game, I think, for my opponent. Even if the Kartana did not protect, you should at least protect Groudon and try to get instant in. But yeah, hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2019 Baek Battles. If you did enjoy, please leave a like down below, show some support, as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my social media, the side series of my channel, and all that other good stuff. If you do want to go that extra mile to support the channel, there is my Patreon page linked down below as well, and feel free to leave a comment, as that does help me out. Feel free to leave a like on the video, and yeah, have a great day, people. Until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.